I sold your house while you were volunteering in Africa. My sister laughed through the phone. You weren't using it anyway. I smiled, knowing the $3 million house she just sold for $800,000 cash. The reality was even worse. The call came at 2 a.m., cutting through my sleep in the volunteer quarters. I could hear the smugness in Hannah's voice from 7,000 miles away. Hannah, I said slowly, you used my medical power of attorney to sell our parents' house. She scoffed. Someone had to be an adult while you played hero in Uganda. Bills were piling up, Amelia. Property taxes, utilities, everything. I got us $800,000 cash. You should be thanking me. My hands trembled. That house is worth at least $3 million. Why would you accept such a low offer? The market's terrible right now. Besides, Michael found a buyer who could close fast. No inspections, no contingencies. It was the smart move. Michael, of course. My sister's husband, the guy who'd burned through their savings on cryptocurrency and NFTs. The same Michael who suddenly had connections to real estate developers. Who's the buyer? I asked, keeping my voice steady. Some LLC. They're tearing it down next week to build luxury condos. She paused. Why are you being so calm about this? Just wait. I'll call you back. I hung up and immediately dialed Tom Anderson, my college roommate who'd become a real estate attorney in Boston. Amelia, he answered instantly. I was hoping you'd call. Your sister really screwed up this time. You know about the sale? Know about it? I've been tracking it. Amelia, remember the transit hub the city was planning? It got approved last month. Your house is ground zero for the new station district. The city's buying those properties through eminent domain for $12 to $15 million each. My heart pounded. Does Hannah know? No way. Official notices go out next week. But here's the thing. I checked that LLC. It's owned by Michael's business partner, Walter Webb. Michael's been on the zoning committee for 6 months. He knew about the transit plans before they went public. They scammed you both to flip it to the city for millions. My shock turned to cold anger. Can we stop this? Better. That power of attorney was for medical decisions only. She had no authority to sell property. The sale's invalid. I was already booking flights. Can you file an emergency injunction? Already drafted. Court hearing tomorrow. If you can get here in time, I'll be there. And Tom, the city attorney should know about Michael's insider trading. He laughed. I already drafted an email, just needed your approval. Send it right now. I landed at Logan 18 hours later, exhausted, focused. My phone buzzed with Hannah's text. Demolition crew doing final walkthrough today. Last chance to say goodbye to your precious childhood memories. LOL. I didn't respond. Tom and I met at the courthouse at 8:01 a.m. sharp. The hearing was brief. The judge, a stern woman in her 60s, reviewed the documents with clear displeasure. Ms. Hannah Anderson, she said sharply. Did you sell property using a power of attorney that was explicitly limited to medical decisions? Hannah's lawyer, some kid who looked fresh out of law school, stammered something about acting in good faith. The sale is void, effective immediately. The judge turned to me. Miss Amelia Anderson, the property reverts to joint ownership. You have all rights to prevent any demolition or transfer. Hannah's face went from smug to deadly pale in seconds. Then the city attorney stood. Your Honor, the city is opening an investigation into potential fraud related to this transaction. Mr. Michael Anderson's position on the zoning committee and his financial connection to the purchasing LLC raises serious concerns about insider trading. Hannah grabbed Michael's arm desperately. What's he talking about? Michael wouldn't meet her eyes, his face covered in sweat. Outside the courthouse, Hannah caught up to me, tears streaming down her face. Amelia, please, you have to help us. Michael could go to prison. We could lose everything we have. I turned to face her slowly. Hannah grabbed my shoulders, desperate. Please, we have a daughter now. Your niece needs her father. I went completely still. What did you just say? She nodded eagerly. I got pregnant right after you left. She's 5 months old. You can't let Michael go to prison. Family protects family, right? I stared at her. Hannah, I've been gone for 8 months. Her face drained of color as she realized the math didn't work. Michael's expression shifted from panic to pure rage as he turned toward my sister. Before I could move, Michael's hand shot out and gripped Hannah's throat. Whose baby is it really, Hannah? I reacted on instinct, shoving Michael hard in the chest. He stumbled backward, his hand releasing Hannah's neck. She collapsed onto the courthouse steps, gasping for air and sobbing. 2 security guards who'd been standing by the entrance rushed over immediately. Sir, step back now, one of them ordered, positioning himself between Michael and Hannah. The other guard spoke into his radio, calling for backup. Michael's face was twisted with fury and something else, like betrayal. But honestly, I couldn't care less about his feelings right then. He was breathing hard, fists clenched at his sides. eyes. "You lying?" He started, but the security guard cut him off. I said, "Step back. One more move and you're under arrest for assault." Michael looked at me, at Hannah, at the growing crowd of people watching from the courthouse entrance. Then he just turned and walked away, fast, almost running to his car in the parking lot. He peeled out without looking back, tires screeching against the asphalt. Hannah was still on the steps, one hand on her throat, the other wrapped around her stomach like she was protecting something. I knelt down next to her, not quite sure what to say. The guards hovered nearby, asking if she needed medical attention. "I'm fine," she choked out. "I'm okay." But she wasn't okay. Her eyes were red and swollen, mascara streaking down her cheeks. She looked at me with this desperate, pleading expression. "Amelia, I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry." "Who's the father?" I asked quietly. "Hannah, who is he?" She closed her eyes, fresh tears spilling over. "Christopher Lang," she whispered. "He's Walter Webb's younger brother. He works at their real estate firm. We had an affair. Just once, I swear. It was just once. It happened 3 months before you left for Uganda. I thought if I just didn't say anything, Michael would never know. I thought I could pass her off as his." One of the security guards offered Hannah his hand and helped her stand. Tom appeared at my side, his expression grim. He'd watched the whole thing from the courthouse doors. "We need to get you both somewhere safe," he said. "Michael's clearly unstable right now." I nodded and guided Hannah to my rental car. She moved like someone in shock, mechanical and distant. I drove to a small coffee shop 3 blocks away, one of those quiet places with mismatched furniture and acoustic music playing softly in the background. We sat in a corner booth, away from other customers. Hannah wrapped her hands around a mug of tea she wasn't drinking. I had so many questions, but I didn't know where to start. So I just waited, giving her space to talk when she was ready. "It was Michael's idea," she finally said. Her voice was hollow. "The house, I mean. He'd been pressuring me for months, ever since he found out about the transit hub plans. He needed access to the house, needed to sell it fast before word got out. We were drowning, Amelia. His crypto investments lost everything. We had credit card debt. We were behind on our mortgage. He said this was our only way out." "And you believed him?" She laughed bitterly. "What choice did I have? He controlled everything. All our accounts, all our finances. I didn't even know how bad it was until it was too late." She looked up at me, eyes pleading. "I know what I did was wrong. I know I betrayed you, but I was scared. Michael said if I didn't help him, we'd lose everything. He said our baby would grow up with nothing, except she's not his baby," I said. Hannah flinched like I'd slapped her. "No, she's not. Does Christopher know?" "Not yet. Walter told me to keep quiet about it. Said it would complicate their business relationship." She wiped her eyes with a napkin. "I've been living with this lie for months. Every time Michael looked at her, held her, I felt sick. But what was I supposed to do? Confess and lose everything?" "Yes," I said simply. "That's exactly what you were supposed to do." Before she could respond, my phone rang. "Tom." "Amelia, where are you right now?" His voice was urgent. "Coffee shop on Newberry." "Why?" "You need to hear this. The city attorney just called me. They're moving forward with the eminent domain process for your property and 12 others in the transit zone. The official payout is being finalized, but preliminary estimates put your house at $14 million. Maybe more." I let that sink in. $14 million. For a house Hannah had tried to sell for $800,000. Michael had known. He'd known the whole time. "How fast can we finalize the ownership documents?" I asked. "I need both you and Hannah to come to my office. We have 2 weeks to get everything properly filed, or the city could contest ownership and delay payment indefinitely." I looked at Hannah across the table. She was staring at her hands, shoulders slumped. "I'll be there in an hour," I told Tom. "Just me for now." After I hung up, Hannah looked up. "What did he say?" I told her about the $14 million. Her face went slack with shock. $14 million? She repeated. "Michael told me $800,000 was a good deal. He said we were lucky to get that much. He lied to you. He lied to both of us. He was planning to pocket the difference when the city bought it from that LLC. Millions of dollars, Hannah? Millions that should have been ours?" She started crying again, but this time it was different. Not panicked or desperate, just broken. "What have I done?" she whispered. "What have I done to us?" I wish I could say I felt sorry for her right then. Part of me did. The part that remembered us as kids, playing in that same house we were fighting over now. But most of me was just angry. Angry at her stupidity, her weakness, her willingness to betray me for a man who'd been using her all along. "I need to go to Tom's office," I said, standing up. "You should go somewhere safe. Not your house. Not anywhere Michael knows about. Do you have money?" She shook her head. "Michael has all our cards. I have maybe $40 in cash." I pulled out my wallet and handed her $200. "Get a motel room. Call me tomorrow. We'll figure out what happens next. But Amelia, tomorrow, Hannah, I can't deal with this right now. I left her sitting there and drove to Tom's office downtown. The traffic was terrible, giving me too much time to think. My phone buzzed with a text from an unknown number. You just made the biggest mistake of your life. I'll make sure you regret this. Michael. Of course. I screenshot the text and forwarded it to Tom. Evidence, just in case. Tom's office was in one of those old brownstones that had been converted into law offices. His secretary waved me straight through to his personal office. He had documents spread across his desk, sticky notes everywhere. Amelia, sit down, he said, gesturing to a chair. We have a problem? Just one? I tried to joke, but it fell flat. Walter Webb showed up at my office an hour ago. He's furious. The fraud investigation is affecting his entire real estate partnership with Michael. The city's looking into every deal they've done together for the past 3 years. He's facing potential charges himself if they find evidence he knew about Michael's insider trading. And did he know? Tom leaned back in his chair. That's the interesting part. According to Walter, he suspected Michael had access to information he shouldn't, but never asked questions. Plausible deniability. But now that everything's blown up, he's trying to save himself. What does he want? He wants to cooperate fully with our case against Michael. He'll provide documentation of every shady deal Michael was involved in. Offshore accounts, hidden assets, everything. In exchange for what? In exchange for us not mentioning his name in any criminal complaints. He wants to walk away clean. I thought about it. Can he actually give us useful information? Oh yeah. Tom slid a folder across the desk. Walter already provided this as a show of good faith. Look at page 7. I flipped through the documents. Page 7 was a bank statement for an account in the Cayman Islands. The account holder was listed as MWA Holdings, Michael William Anderson. The balance was over $200,000. He's been hiding money, I said. For years, apparently. Walter says Michael set up several offshore accounts when their real estate partnership started taking off. Money that should have been reported, should have been taxed. And look at the transaction dates. I scanned the statement. Multiple deposits over the past 6 months, each one coinciding with property sales Michael had brokered through the LLC. He was funneling money away before the fraud even happened. This is huge, Tom said. With this information, we can freeze his accounts, recover the funds. Between the stolen items from your house and these hidden assets, we might be able to recover quite a bit. What about Hannah? I asked. She was part of the fraud. She signed the paperwork. Technically, yes, but given that Michael clearly manipulated her, and she had no knowledge of his broader scheme, a prosecutor would likely go easy on her, especially now that Michael's assaulted her in public. She's more of a victim than an accomplice. She still sold my house without permission. True, but the sale was voided. No permanent damage done, legally speaking. You could pursue civil action against her, but honestly, it might not be worth it. I sat back, processing everything. My phone buzzed again. Hannah this time. Michael just showed up at the motel. He knows where I am. I'm scared. Show Tom, I said, handing him my phone. He read the message, frowning. Call her back. Tell her to lock herself in the bathroom and call 911 if he tries to get in. Then give me the motel address. I called Hannah. She picked up on the first ring, her voice terrified. Amelia, he's banging on the door. He's screaming that I ruined everything. Lock yourself in the bathroom right now, I said firmly. Do not open the door for him. If he tries to break in, call 911 immediately. Do you understand? Yes, okay, I'm going now. I heard her moving, a door slamming, a lock clicking. What's the motel address? She told me. Tom was already on his phone, talking to someone. I stayed on the line with Hannah, listening to Michael's muffled shouting through the motel room door. He's saying it's all my fault, Hannah whispered. He's saying I destroyed his life. You didn't do anything he didn't manipulate you into, I told her. Stay where you are. Help is coming. Tom finished his call. I contacted a friend at Boston PD. They're sending a unit now. Should be there in 5 minutes. We waited. It felt like hours, but was probably only 3 minutes before I heard sirens through Hannah's phone. The banging stopped. Michael's voice faded. He's running, Hannah said. He saw the police and ran to his car. Stay in the bathroom until the officers knock and identify themselves, I said. Don't come out until you're sure it's safe. Okay, Amelia, thank you. I hung up without responding. Tom was watching me with this concerned expression. You okay? He asked. Honestly, no. My sister betrayed me. Her husband tried to steal millions from me, and now I'm somehow responsible for making sure she doesn't get killed by the same man she helped defraud me. So no, I'm not okay. Fair enough, Tom said. But for what it's worth, you're handling this better than most people would. I thought about that. Was I handling it well? Or was I just numb, running on adrenaline and anger? What happens next? I asked. Next, we file all the necessary paperwork with the city to confirm your ownership of the property. We make sure the eminent domain payment goes to you and only you. We work with the police to document Michael's harassment and assault, and we use Walter's information to freeze Michael's offshore accounts and recover as much of the stolen property as possible. And Hannah, that's up to you. She's your sister. You can help her or walk away. Either choice is valid. valid. I didn't have an answer for that. Not yet. My phone rang again. This time it was an unknown number, but not Michael's. I answered cautiously. Is this Amelia Anderson? Yes. Who is this? My name is Christopher Lang. I think we need to talk. I looked at Tom. He mouthed speakerphone. I switched it over. Mr. Lang, what can I do for you? Walter told me about the baby, about Hannah. His voice was tight, controlled. I need to know if it's true. Have you asked Hannah? I'm asking you. Yes, it's true. Hannah confirmed it today. The baby is yours. There was a long silence. Then, does Michael know? He figured it out about 2 hours ago. Tried to strangle Hannah in front of the courthouse. Jesus Christ, is she okay? Physically, yes. Emotionally, she's terrified. Michael just tracked her down at a motel and tried to break in. The police are there now. Another silence. I need to see her. And the baby. I need to know for sure. That's between you and Hannah, I said. But if you're planning to be involved, you should know she has no money, no place to stay, and a potentially violent ex-husband who knows where to find her. Where is she now? Safe for the moment. But she needs help. Real help. Not just money, but protection. A place to stay. Legal support. I can provide that, Christopher said quickly. Walter and I have a property, an apartment in Cambridge that's sitting empty. She can stay there. I'll hire security if necessary, whatever it takes. Why? I asked bluntly. You barely know her. Why would you do this? Because if that baby is mine, Christopher said, and his voice was steel now, then Hannah is the mother of my child, and I don't abandon my responsibilities, ever. Tom and I exchanged looks. He shrugged like, worth a shot. All right, I said, I'll give Hannah your number. What you two work out from there is your business. But Mr. Lang, if you hurt her or that baby in any way, you'll answer to me. Understood. After we hung up, Tom grinned. You sounded like a mob boss just then. Good. Maybe people will finally take this seriously. My phone buzzed with a text from Hannah. Police took my statement. They're looking for Michael. I can't go back to our house. I don't know where to go. I called Christopher back. He answered immediately. Hannah needs a place to stay tonight. Can you make that Cambridge apartment available right now? I'll have it ready in an hour. Give me her number and I'll coordinate directly with her. I sent him Hannah's contact information, then texted her. Christopher Lang is going to call you. He's offering you a safe place to stay. It's up to you if you accept, but I think you should. Be smart, Hannah. She responded almost immediately. Thank you. Tom and I spent the next 3 hours going through paperwork, ownership documents, transfer records, evidence of Michael's fraud. By the time we finished, it was dark outside and my eyes hurt from reading fine print. Go home, Tom said finally. Get some sleep. We'll tackle the rest tomorrow. Home. I almost laughed. I didn't have a home here anymore. I'd been living in a studio apartment in Kampala for the past 8 months, doing medical volunteer work with an organization that provided healthcare to rural communities. That was my home now, not Boston. I ended up checking into a hotel near the airport. The room was generic and anonymous, which suited me fine. I ordered room service and sat on the bed, finally allowing myself to feel everything I'd been pushing down all day. My phone rang. Hannah, he seems nice, she said softly. Christopher, I mean. He set up the apartment for me, brought groceries, diapers, everything. He even hired a security guard to watch the building tonight. That's good. Amelia, I know you hate me right now. I know I don't deserve your help. But thank you for everything you did today. I'm not doing it for you, I said honestly. I'm doing it for that baby. She didn't ask to be born into this mess. Her name is Lily, Hannah said. Your niece. Her name is Lily Grace. Something in my chest tightened at that. Lily had been our mother's middle name. Grace had been our grandmother's. Hannah had named her baby after our family, even while she was betraying everything our family stood for. Good night, Hannah, I said and hung up. I slept terribly, waking up every few hours from dreams about my parents. In one dream, they were standing in our childhood home watching as a wrecking ball demolished it. They didn't say anything, just watched. When I woke up, my face was wet with tears. The next morning, Tom called at 7. We have a situation. What now? Michael broke into your parents' house last night. Or tried to. The security cameras you had installed caught him attempting to jimmy a window. He didn't get in, but he spent 20 minutes trying before giving up. Is he in custody? Not yet, but I forwarded the footage to the police. They've issued a warrant for his arrest. Between the assault on Hannah and this attempted break-in, he's looking at serious charges. Good. There's more. I checked with Walter about the stolen items from the house. Your mother's jewelry collection, your father's books. Michael already sold most of them. My stomach sank. How much? Walter thinks he got at least $50,000, maybe more. Pawned some, sold others through online collectors. I've hired a private investigator to track down what we can. But honestly, Amelia, some of it might be gone forever. Find what you can, I said. I want everything back that's possible to recover. We'll do our best. Also, the city attorney called. They want to meet with you next week to finalize the property transfer. The official offer is $14.2 million. $14.2 million. It still didn't feel real. That's fine. Schedule it. There's one more thing. Tom hesitated. Hannah called me this morning. She wants to talk to you about the money. Absolutely not. Hear me out. She's not asking for half anymore. She knows she screwed up, but she's asking if you'd consider setting up some kind of trust for the baby, for Lily, something that would ensure the kid has financial security, even if everything else falls apart. I didn't respond right away. Part of me wanted to refuse out of pure spite. Hannah didn't deserve anything, not a penny. But Lily, she was innocent in all this. A baby who'd been born into chaos through no fault of her own. I'll think about it, I said finally. That's all I ask. After we hung up, I sat there staring at my phone. A text from Hannah had come through during the call. I know you don't want to talk to me, but please consider helping Lily. Not for me, for her. She's your niece. She's family. Family. The word felt poisonous right now. Family was supposed to protect each other, support each other. Instead, my family had lied, stolen, and betrayed. My sister had used a legal document meant for medical emergencies to commit fraud. Her husband had assaulted her in public. The whole thing was a disaster. But Lily hadn't done any of that. She was just a baby. I texted back, I'll consider a trust for Lily. Not for you. We'll discuss terms later. 3 dots appeared immediately then. Thank you. I don't deserve your kindness. You're right. You don't. I spent the rest of the morning at the house, our parents' house, walking through empty rooms and trying to figure out how to feel about everything. The house where Hannah and I had grown up, where we'd played in the backyard and argued over the bathroom and stayed up late telling secrets. Now it was just a building, soon to be demolished to make way for a transit station. Progress, they called it. Felt more like erasure. I found myself in my father's old study, the room where he'd spent hours working on his research papers. He'd been a history professor at BU, passionate about preservation and memory. What would he think about this house being torn down? About Hannah's betrayal? About all of it? I noticed a bookshelf in the corner, one I hadn't gone through yet. Most of the valuable books were gone, stolen by Michael. But there were a few left, old paperbacks and reference books. I pulled one out randomly and something fell from between the pages. A journal, my father's handwriting. I sat down on the floor and started reading. It was dated from 3 years ago, about 6 months before he died. Most entries were about his research or daily life, but one entry, dated 2 weeks before his death, caught my attention. Hannah came by today. She seemed troubled, said Michael's been making risky investments, that they're having money problems. I offered to help, but she refused. Too proud, like her mother. I worry about her. I told her that if anything happens to me, if anything happens to the house, she and Amelia should split everything equally. They're all I have left. They need to take care of each other. Split everything equally. My father's words, written in his own hand. I took a photo of the page and sat there for a long time thinking. Hannah had betrayed me, yes. Had committed fraud, had nearly cost me millions. But my father's last wish had been for us to share equally, to take care of each other. What was I supposed to do with that? My phone rang. It was Walter Webb. Miss Anderson, I hope I'm not intruding. What do you want, Mr. Webb? I wanted to update you on the situation with Michael. He's been trying to blackmail me, threatening to expose some questionable deals we did together a few years ago. He wants $500,000 to keep quiet. And you're telling me this why? Because I need your help. If Michael exposes those deals, it doesn't just hurt me. It implicates my entire firm, including my brother Christopher, who, I understand, is now involved with your sister and their child. So you want me to protect your reputation. I want us to help each other, Walter said smoothly. I have extensive documentation of Michael's illegal activities, tax evasion, fraud, bribery of city officials. With my testimony and evidence, you could have him arrested and prosecuted to the fullest extent of the law. In exchange, you keep my name out of any criminal complaints. Just Michael. He goes down, I stay clean. I don't like being manipulated, Mr. Webb. This isn't manipulation, it's a business transaction. You get justice, and you protect Christopher's ability to support his daughter. I get to keep my firm intact. Everyone wins except Michael, who frankly deserves everything coming to him. Send me the documentation. I'll review it and decide. I'll have it to you within the hour. After he hung up, I called Tom. Walter Webb just offered to give me everything on Michael in exchange for leaving his name out of the criminal complaints. What do you think? I think Walter's trying to save his own ass, Tom said, but if his evidence is solid, it could be useful. Let me review it when he sends it over. We'll see if it's worth the trade. The documents arrived 40 minutes later. Tom and I spent the afternoon going through them in his office. Walter hadn't been exaggerating. He had bank statements, emails, recorded phone calls, everything. Michael had been running a systematic fraud operation for years, not just with our house. There were at least 6 other properties where he'd used insider information to buy low and flip high. Families who'd sold their homes for far less than they were worth, never knowing Michael had information about upcoming development plans. It was disgusting. We can use this, Tom said grimly, not just for your case, but to help other victims. This is a pattern of behavior. What about Walter's request? Do we keep his name out of it? Tom considered. Walter's clearly complicit in some of this. But if we go after him too, we lose all this evidence. Michael's lawyers would argue it's inadmissible, fruit of the poisonous tree. We'd have to build everything from scratch. So we make a deal with one devil to catch another. That's the prosecutor's job, not ours. Our job is to protect you and recover what was stolen. If that means giving Walter immunity, then that's what we do. I nodded slowly. All right, make it official. Walter provides everything, testifies if necessary. In exchange, we don't pursue charges against him. But Tom, make sure the agreement includes a clause that if he's lying or withholding evidence, all bets are off, already in the draft contract. That evening, I went back to the house one more time. I needed to start packing, removing personal items before the city took possession. I'd hired a moving company for the furniture, but the personal stuff, photos and mementos and things, that I needed to do myself. I was in the attic, going through boxes of old photos when I heard a car pull up outside, then footsteps, then a knock at the door. I went downstairs carefully. Through the window, I could see Hannah standing on the porch, Lily in her arms. The baby was bundled in a pink blanket, sleeping peacefully. I opened the door. We stared at each other for a long moment. "Can I come in?" Hannah asked quietly. "I know I have no right to ask, but please. I want to help with the packing, with saying goodbye." Against my better judgment, I stepped aside. Hannah came in, looking around at the nearly empty rooms with this expression of profound sadness. "I remember when Mom and Dad brought me home from the hospital," she said softly. "Dad carried me in through this door. Mom had decorated the living room with balloons and this big welcome home banner. They were so happy." We walked through the house together in silence, Hannah still holding Lily, me carrying a box of photo albums. We ended up in the kitchen, sitting at the old table where we'd eaten thousands of meals as a family. "I found something today," I said, pulling out my phone. I showed her the photo of our father's journal entry, the one about splitting everything equally. Hannah read it, tears streaming down her face. She covered her mouth with her free hand, trying not to sob and wake the baby. "He wanted us to take care of each other," she whispered, "and I destroyed that. I destroyed everything." "You did," I agreed. "There was no point in lying. You betrayed me, you committed fraud, you nearly cost me millions of dollars. You chose Michael over your own sister. I know, and I'm so sorry. I was weak and stupid and scared. Michael, he manipulated me, made me think we had no other choice. But that's not an excuse. I should have called you, should have told you everything. Instead, I let him convince me to steal from you." Hannah looked at me, eyes red and swollen. "I'll understand if you never forgive me. But please don't punish Lily for my mistakes. She deserves better than that." I looked at the baby sleeping in Hannah's arms. Lily, my niece. She had Hannah's nose, but her eyes, when she'd briefly opened them earlier, looked like our mother's. Family. I spoke to Tom about setting up a trust for her. I said, $3 million. That's my offer. It goes into an account that's managed by a professional trustee. Monthly distributions for living expenses, larger amounts for approved purposes like education or medical care. But Hannah, you don't control it. You can't touch it. It's for Lily and only Lily. Hannah was crying openly now, nodding frantically. Yes, anything. Thank you. Thank you so much. There are conditions. You have to sign legal documents saying you have no claim to my share of the house sale. You have to cooperate fully with the police investigation into Michael, and you have to get therapy. Real therapy, not just a few sessions. You need help processing what Michael did to you and understanding why you made the choices you made. I'll do all of it, Hannah promised. Whatever it takes. I want to be better for Lily, for myself. She paused. "Can I ask, what made you change your mind?" Dad's journal. His last wish was for us to share equally. I can't do that, not after everything, but I can make sure Lily's taken care of. That's what Dad would have wanted. We spent the next several hours packing together. It was strange, working side by side with Hannah after everything that had happened. We didn't talk much, just focused on the task at hand, boxing up dishes, wrapping photos, sorting through decades of accumulated memories. At one point, Hannah found a photo of the two of us as kids, maybe 6 and 8 years old. We were in the backyard, muddy and grinning, holding a frog we'd caught in the pond. Both of us looked so happy, so innocent. "I miss this," Hannah said quietly. "I miss us being like this." We can't go back, I told her. Too much has happened. But maybe eventually we can find a way forward. For Lily's sake, I'd like that. Around midnight, we finished packing the last box. The house was empty now, echoing with our voices. We walked through one final time, saying goodbye to each room. The living room, where we'd opened Christmas presents. The dining room, where we'd had family dinners. The upstairs hallway, where we'd hung our school photos. Goodbye, Hannah whispered in the master bedroom, our parents' old room. Goodbye, Mom. Goodbye, Dad. I'm sorry I let you down. We locked up and stood on the front porch together. The street was quiet, just a few streetlights casting yellow pools of light. Lily was still asleep in Hannah's arms, oblivious to everything. Thank you, Hannah said, for today, for the trust, for not completely giving up on me. I haven't forgiven you, I said honestly. I don't know if I ever will, but you're my sister, and Lily's my niece. That has to mean something. It means everything. After Hannah left, I sat in my rental car for a long time, just staring at the house. In 2 weeks, it would belong to the city. In a month, it would be rubble, all those memories, all that history, reduced to dust and debris to make room for progress. My phone buzzed. Tom. Michael's been arrested. Police picked him up at a bar in Southie. He's being held on charges of assault, attempted breaking and entering, and they're adding fraud charges based on Walter's evidence. Thought you'd want to know. I smiled grimly. Finally, some good news. The next week was a blur of meetings and paperwork. I met with the city attorney to finalize the property transfer. $14.2 million, transferred to my account in 3 business days. Tom helped me set up the trust for Lily, ironclad terms that Hannah couldn't manipulate no matter how hard she tried. Christopher Lang turned out to be surprisingly decent. He demanded a paternity test, which confirmed he was Lily's father. Instead of running away, he stepped up, hired a family lawyer to establish custody arrangements, set up a college fund, started paying generous child support. Hannah was wary of him at first, but he proved himself consistent and reliable in a way Michael never had been. Walter kept his end of the bargain. He provided testimony and documentation that buried Michael completely. The prosecutor's office was building a case that could put Michael away for years. Fraud, tax evasion, insider trading, assault. The list kept growing. I also hired that private investigator Tom recommended, a retired cop named Janet Rodriguez. She was good at her job, tenacious. Within a week, she tracked down most of the stolen items from the house. Mom's jewelry collection had been sold to various pawn shops around Boston. Janet managed to recover about 60% of it. Dad's rare books were harder. Some had been sold to online collectors as far away as California and Maine, but Janet found them one by one, negotiating returns or purchases. It cost me about $70,000 to recover everything, between Janet's fees and buying back items from people who'd purchased them legitimately from Michael. But it was worth it. Those things had been my parents. Pieces of our family history. I wasn't going to let Michael's greed erase them. 3 days before the house demolition, I got a call from an unexpected source. It was a woman named Patricia Chen, calling from an address about 2 miles from my parents' house. Miss Anderson? My name is Patricia Chen. I live in the Riverside district, near your family's property. I heard about what happened with your sister's husband, Michael Anderson. I tensed immediately. What about it? I think Michael defrauded my family too. 6 years ago. We sold our house for what we thought was a fair price. But looking back at your case, the timing, the circumstances, everything similar. We sold through the same LLC, Walter Webb's company. Did Michael broker the sale? He did. Told us the market was soft, that we should sell quickly before values dropped further. We needed the money for my mother's medical care, so we accepted. 2 months later, that property sold again for triple what we got. I've always wondered if we were cheated. I put her on speaker so Tom could hear. Tom was immediately interested, asking questions about dates, amounts, documentation. By the end of the call, we were pretty sure the Chens had been victims of the same scheme Michael ran on us. There are probably others, Tom said after we hung up. If Michael did this to your family and the Chens, he probably did it to more people. We should look into it. How? We file a civil suit against Michael and the LLC. Discovery process will force them to turn over all their records. We'll be able to see every property transaction they've done in the past decade. Find other victims. Help them recover losses. That could take years, maybe, but it's the right thing to do. I thought about Patricia Chen, about her mother's medical bills, about the money they'd lost. Thought about other families out there who might have been scammed the same way. Michael had destroyed so many lives for his own greed. Do it, I said. File the suit. Let's find everyone he hurt. Over the next 2 weeks, our investigation snowballed. Word spread about Michael's arrest and our civil suit. Other families came forward one by one with stories similar to mine and the Chens. A retired teacher who'd sold her house to pay for her husband's cancer treatment. A young couple who'd moved for a job opportunity. An elderly widower who downsized after his wife died. 10 families in total, all victimized by the same scheme. Some had sold directly to Michael's LLC. Others had been convinced to sell to friends of Michael's, who were secretly his business partners. The pattern was always the same, though. Michael had insider knowledge about development plans, used it to buy properties cheap, then flipped them for massive profits once the plans became public. The prosecutor's office was ecstatic. They added additional fraud charges to Michael's case for each family. What had started as charges related to just my house and Hannah's actions had expanded into a massive criminal conspiracy. Michael's lawyer tried to negotiate a plea deal. Tom and I attended the meeting, along with representatives from some of the other victim families. Michael sat there in his orange jumpsuit, looking small and defeated, nothing like the confident manipulator who'd orchestrated all this. His lawyer proposed 10 years, with possibility of parole after 5, in exchange for a guilty plea and full restitution. No, I said immediately, not good enough. Miss Anderson, the lawyer started, but I cut him off. Your client stole from 10 families, 11 if you count what he tried to do to me and my sister. He destroyed lives, manipulated vulnerable people, committed fraud on a massive scale. 10 years isn't justice. It's barely a slap on the wrist. The prosecutor agreed. We countered with 25 years. No parole eligibility until 20 served. Full restitution to all victims, plus all hidden assets seized. Michael's lawyer protested, but we didn't budge. Take it or we go to trial, and I'll make sure every ugly detail becomes public record. Michael took the deal. He had no choice, really. Walter's testimony and documentation made conviction at trial almost certain, and a jury would likely give him even more time. On the day Michael was sentenced, I sat in the courtroom with Hannah. Christopher had offered to come too for support, but I declined. This was something Hannah and I needed to do together. The judge was thorough and severe. She detailed each of Michael's crimes, the harm he'd caused, the lives he disrupted. Then she sentenced him to 25 years in state prison with no parole for 20 years, full restitution, all assets seized, and a lifetime prohibition from holding any real estate license or position in financial services. Michael didn't react. He just sat there, stone-faced, as the bailiff led him away. Hannah watched him go, and I couldn't read her expression. Relief? Sadness? Both? How do you feel? I asked as we left the courthouse. Empty, she said. Like I wasted so many years on someone who was never worth it. You did, but now you have a chance to start over. Don't waste it. She nodded. I won't. I promise. The house demolition happened on a cold Tuesday morning in late March. I stood across the street with Tom, watching as the excavator tore into the structure. Each swing of the bucket felt like losing a piece of myself. The porch where Dad used to read the Sunday paper, the kitchen window where Mom would wave goodbye when I left for school, the roof where Hannah and I had once climbed to watch fireworks. Gone, all of it, reduced to rubble in less than 2 hours. It's just a building, Tom said gently. The memories are still yours. I know, doesn't make it easier though. After the demolition, I met with representatives from other victim families. We'd formed a sort of informal support group, people who'd been scammed by Michael and were trying to rebuild. Patricia Chen was there, her elderly mother in a wheelchair beside her, the young couple who'd been manipulated into selling their starter home, the retired teacher whose husband had since passed away from his cancer. We shared stories, offered support, discussed the restitution process. It felt good in a way to know I wasn't alone in this, that other people understood what it felt like to be betrayed and cheated by someone they trusted. One of the families asked what I planned to do with my settlement money. I'd been thinking about that a lot lately. I'm starting a foundation, I said, to support medical volunteers in developing countries. It was something my parents always talked about doing, but never got around to. I'm naming it after them. The Anderson Foundation for Global Health. That's beautiful, Patricia Chen said. Your parents would be proud. I hoped so. I really hoped so.